We spent the whole day. People wanting, well, we shouldn't go buy the book. It's gone. All that misinformation, classic misinformation techniques from intelligence agencies. And if that's what Esquire wants to do, then let them explain in court how they had an intention to destroy the book and what damages that causes.
Well, it's bottom line, it's meant to cause people to run back to the store saying, I want my money back. Then all the big booksellers, Barnes & Nobles, panics and pulls it off shelves.
And have you ever seen an attempt by the administration, by someone in the White House, to destroy a book? In the history of book publishing, I don't remember any president going after a book like this.
Nixon actually went after some authors and people, and you saw what happened to him. This shows that they are running scared.
They're in their last legs. They're gasping. They're desperate. They're using fraudulent methods. They're using strong-arm tactics. And I'm just an author. They want to vilify me. If that's what they have to do to stay in the White House, so be it. I'll tolerate that for a while. The final analysis, if that document's fraudulent, then we're vindicated, and the White House is going to have to explain to criminal court why a criminal document was brought out, and Obama will have to explain to the American people why he resorted to crime to stay in office.
All right, we've only got about a minute and a half left, and we're coming back for the rest of the hour on economic news. Bob Chapman, formerly with intelligence, U.S. government, syndicated.
I know Bob well, and I highly admire Bob.
Let's bring Bob up just for a quick question, final question for Dr. Jerome Corsi. Listening to this, Bob, do you have any questions or comments for Dr. Corsi?
Well, I love his work, and I am absolutely thrilled that he's done it, and I think there's a good chance he can take him down with it. And so everybody who's listening should be proud of Jerome Corsi.
Well, I want to endorse Bob's newsletter. I've been reading it for years. It's the best, most insightful newsletter in the business. I rely on it.
Well, there's no doubt, Dr. Corsi, you hit the barbed wire with this, and you're always a very careful person, and I've read the book. There's definitely a cover-up going on here, and that itself in law is a crime, covering up a crime. They're desperate. Something's going on, and they put out this shoddy fake. There's no doubt about that. And so are they trying to cover up he's a bastard? Now, that's what Wayne Madsen has said. And
I don't think it's necessarily that they care that he's a bastard. What they're covering up is that the mother, desperate to find Obama to induce him to be the father, took on her own a trip to Africa to try to convince the family she should be the princess. That's the story.
Yeah, because he was in line to get into politics.
And Barack Obama Sr. couldn't care less, and the family couldn't care less. They took this crazy girl over to Mombasa Hospital and let her have her baby. They sent her home. That's her missing 6 months, and she goes to Seattle.
All right, Dr. Corsi, thank you so much. Let me see Bob Teeter on the break. We're coming back with Bob Chapman on a host of issues straight ahead. Stay with us. Chapman's our guest. I want to get into the economy, a bunch of important police state news. Bob's inside scoop, he has so many connections on the Dominique Strauss-Kahn situation. But finishing up with the birth certificate, Bob, out of hundreds of broadcasts I do a year, every year I do 5, 6, 7 shows on the birther issue and say, I don't know, but looks like they're covering something up. But now, the way they put out this shoddy certificate, the way they ran dirty tricks against WorldNet Daily and Corsi, there's no doubt that thing's fake. There's no doubt they said the last one was the long form and nothing else existed. There's no doubt Governor Abercrombie said he went and looked and couldn't find it, and then suddenly it's there. What on earth is going on?
Well, they're trying to cover up. This is Brzezinski and Soros who put this guy in the position that he's in. They figured they could bulldoze the American people into believing that he was what they say he is. And now Jerome has written a book that tells you that isn't the case. And this is what investigative journalism is all about, and the quality of telling the truth. And it's going to be crippling. They should have thought of all this. And now you get the attack coming forward by Media Matters, which is Soros's company or whatever they call it. I also and went to your staff here a couple of weeks ago that Media Matters was attacking G. Edward Griffith, too. and they gave me the information, which I sent on to Ed. But anything goes with these people, and they're gonna try to rough this thing all the way through, and they are going to be unsuccessful.
Well, when they get up there and say that it's crazy to question government and that we just need to believe what we're told, everybody knows government's constantly caught lying. And then why do you think it's such a bad forgery? Because I mean, the whole thing's a joke.
Well, you're right, and I mulled that over when I was first informed of its quality, not being a professional in that area. And either one or two things happened, and Jerome gave one of them. They had to rush to get this thing done, had to be done within their own circle, and they picked what they thought was the best person to do it. And as you pointed out, had they gone to the FBI or the CIA, particularly the CIA, they could have made them a wonderful forgery, and but they didn't do that. I just think they're dumb.
For those that don't know, the British and U.S. forgery departments of the intelligence services keep every known typewriter used, copies of old paper, or original reams. They have whole warehouses. This is admitted. They can fake digital cards. They can fake identities. They do surgeries so that people can pass. I mean, they're masters of this. They would have, out of whole new paper, made a perfect fake. But instead, we get something that looks like it was made by Mickey Mouse.
It's a good way to put it.
So what, they just had some good fella, I guess, one of their little, mafia buds to do it.
Well, whoever, I think the point is Jerome is going to, in finality, prove that the President of the United States is not who he says he is, he's not an American citizen, and so on and so forth. And that could take him down from office. Then we get Joe Biden, if you can believe that. But that's the way the changes of power are in the Western world and have been for some time. And I expect that there'll be, all sorts of things in the media. The media, of course, is committed, so they have to defend him. But in the final analysis, he's going to be out of office, I think.
Well, that's right. Once the media unquestioningly 2.5 years ago bought the other certificate as the total proof and the end-all be-all, and then once they committed to this new lie, they don't have a choice. They're going to continue digging the hole deeper for themselves. That's right.
The old adage I learned when I was a little boy, you tell a lie, you got to tell 20 more to make up for it. It's hardly worth it. And that's why my whole life I've tried to tell the truth each and every time, because I don't want that burden of having to worry about the lies I got to tell.
Well, exactly. That's what's so great about doing the research, telling the truth, is that you don't have to remember anything. I mean, you're just going with what the research is, and it's right there. You're not having to remember what you said before about this or that. That's why so many of these politicians have got to read off teleprompters, is because they're just complete liars, and they've got to have experts that go over it and make sure the lies have continuity. I want to shift gears now with Bob Chapman of the International Forecaster, and we come back and run over a host of news. Also look at how they're trying to suppress gold and silver. Also, government orders YouTube to censor protest videos. This is confirmed. Just so many incredible developments straight ahead. We're going right back to Bob Chapman in a moment. We're carrying a new animated DVD film that is Disney quality. It's just incredible. The American Dream. And it goes over the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, how the Federal Reserve operates. This is the film to show children, but also adults. I mean, it is very entertaining, but really illustrates the tyranny of these people. And I am just amazed at the work that these filmmakers have done. It's available at Infowars.com. Also, the new Dan Dix film, proving that there is a global standardized program of setting up police states and nations. And they illustrate police caught in provocateur actions in the new film, Into the Fire, available at Infowars.com. Of course, Jason Bermas's excellent film, The New World Order Defined. Again, the New World Order Defined, Invisible Empire, breaks down their total master plan. That's all available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And it is your purchase of the books, the videos, books like Where's the Birth Certificate from Infowars.com that finance what we're doing here. Please also support our local AM and FM affiliates and their local sponsors. If you're a business and believe in the information being covered here, please step to the plate and become a sponsor of all the great new affiliates that we're getting. On average, 3 new affiliates a week. It is very important with George Soros and the White House and all these calls, Bill Clinton coming out saying they want a ministry of truth to shut down alternative media, the fairness doctrine. It is more important than ever to support not just this show, this broadcast, but all alternative media and the affiliates that bring you this information. Speaking of sponsors, I want to tell you about the National Inflation Association. For 2/3 of Americans getting ready to retire, Social Security will be more than 50% of their income. And for 22% of upcoming retirees, Social Security will be their only income. With massive inflation wipes out the purchasing power of American Social Security payments, retirement in America will become a thing of the past. We will see millions of retired senior citizens re-enter the workforce. Combined with the millions of government workers who will soon need to find new jobs when the dollar becomes worthless and the government goes bust, it will be nearly impossible for upcoming college graduates to find a job in the U.S. Go to inflation.us and click on the videos tab to see this breakthrough film now, The College Conspiracy. Again, that's inflation.us to watch the film today. And next week, we're going to have it in high def. It's an amazing film up on prisonplanet.tv. They've also told us we can post it there. Okay, going back now to Bob Chapman. Bob, I've got all this economic news. China is now the top gold bug. Financial Times is reporting. The Wall Street Journal is also reporting Mexico buying massive amounts. Meanwhile, the system with papers trying to suppress it. We've got the currency wars accelerating. Bloomberg's reporting they have a HBO special coming out that literally worships Henry Paulson as our savior. Headline, Paulson cast as stoic savior in HBO. Big, a Wall Street saga. I mean, this is just incredible. We've got China continuing to dump its purchases of Treasury notes. What's happening in the economy right now?
Well, first of all, people think that by the end of June, and these are usually people who are professionals, that what is called QE2 is going to terminate. And the bottom line, very simply, is they terminate, the economy totally collapses. So they have to keep it up, and they will do it under another name. They'll dream something up. They got people working 24/7 doing just such things. And so it's going to continue. That is what the stock market's telling you, and that's why in the Dow it moved from 10,800 to 12,800. They're discounting and the news ahead of time, and the market normally does that because the insiders know what's going on. Who are they? J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, and on and on. So they know what's going on because they create the news. They don't get inside information. They make inside information. And so that's why you've seen what you've seen in the market defying reality. And I think probably once it becomes known that QE3 is in process, then the market will probably start to come up because all the good news will be out. Continued spending of money and not a collapse in the economy. Gold and silver are going to continue upward based upon, number one, gold being the only money in the world, and that's been proven over the last 2.5 years in its head-to-head fight with the dollar and all other currencies as well. And both silver and gold in the future will move higher. We just had a big man-made correction, and that will be overcome. Is this the bottom? I don't know, but I don't care. You just keep on buying because it's the only safe place to be. It probably is a bottom. And we had a very good day today in the market, and it's continuing. And so there are a lot of peripheral things going on. The book by Jerome Corsi explaining the birth of the person who calls himself president. And then there's other things outside that. Now, Alex, as you know, I've been talking for the last couple of years about the possibility of government doing something to or with 401ks and IRAs. And I think that's getting